Yeah, first of all, I just want to thank Mountaineer Nation and our fans and everybody that showed up. On the weather wasn't the best by any means, and we still got 11-5 here for a team that needs all that support each and every night, because it really goes a long way with our energy and our program. So first and foremost, credit to those fans, and thank you so much for being here and continuing to back us through this season. So hard-fought victory. I think the buy-in for us defensively and some changes schematically was probably the key. And our guys did a heck of a job in the last couple of days, and made those changes and locked in on it, and had a lot to do with coming out with a victory tonight.
So Josh, some of those changes obviously must have been defense, but just talk about the defense overall. It's been a struggle this year. Best game so far? Did you like what you did defensively, forcing 22 turnovers?
Yeah, that was. I didn't realize we turned them over 22 times. That's got to be the most all year by far, and it wasn't pressure by any means. It was like I told those guys, if we don't get spread and take a different approach and not get so spread and have each other's back, we can put as much ball pressure as possible if we pack it in a little bit. So they bought into it, and the credit to our staff. Our staff really put together a real good game plan in terms of implementing it on a short notice, and excellent job by them and owning the defensive end and locking in and selling it to our guys. So credit to them and credit to our guys for buying in and locking in on it.
It was a very physical game. How did you push the button? What button did you push to get that out of the team?
I don't remember pushing a button, but whatever it was. I certainly want to. The message I had for 2 days, I think came out of one of my assistants' mouth when we're making some of these changes. It's got to be us versus them. It's got to be us versus them. And I kept on reiterating that terminology through the 2-day process. That our defense has got to, we got to feel that help side. We got to feel that on the, from a ball pressure standpoint, that everybody's got each other's back. And with some of the changes, you're going to give up a lot more threes, but going into the game, you probably looked at the first 2 games in conference play. We were probably giving up close to 45 points in the paint, and wasn't exactly stellar, but we only gave up 28 in the paint tonight.
I was just going to ask about that. I don't know how much you can get into, like what the defensive changes were, but when you were coming up with them, was it with that in mind, stopping those runs at the rim?
Yeah. Then the isolations in the post. You get too spread and you get the wrong matchup when you don't have a true 5 out there. It becomes very hard to mitigate. So, we knew in the game of basketball, it's always when you're game planning, you try to figure out what you're going to live with, and sometimes whether that might be a skip past 3 or a mid-range shot, and run somebody off the line, whatever that may be, but that's kind of the way we had to look at it. And it's like, okay, if we're going to shore up the points in the paint, we're going to have to live with something. And consequently, I know they got several of them late, but they hit 9 threes on us. So there's always a weakness in every scheme defensively, and they shot the ball well. And credit to probably one of the best pure shooters I've seen in the game, and there's no reason. There's certainly a reason why he's got to where he's at, 5th in all time in 3-point makes. He's a pure shooter and an ace-miss, so he's a special player.
Josh, can you talk about Pat's performance tonight? I mean, it just seemed like he had a look in his eye.
Yeah, I just keep on trying to feed that fire. I told someone on whether radio show or something that he's had a couple good games in a row, and we keep on building on that, and he's carrying himself differently. You could see the confidence in his eyes, and he's working as hard as anybody to take advantage of some of these one-on-one opportunities. when he's got space in practice and, we saw the opportunity in game, we could go to him, and he took full advantage of him when we set him up. So credit to him. He's been balling for us, and he's locked in, and that's what we need at a top to bottom for us to be successful.
Opponents have been trying to get the ball out of Kerr's hands, obviously. So do you change the way the offense is set a little bit to maybe try to get him to draw things, to create some opportunities for other people to set and run it, or is it just his ability to attack that?
As you saw, I ran 3 different guys out there at point at any given time. So Kirk can play off the ball, and sometimes that's even beneficial for you because he can make the right pass on the turn. And to get some movement and then get him on the backside to make that pass or but he's really good at taking care of the ball and getting out of double teams. But we just, in the last few games, we haven't punished people for the double teams, and that's why they continue to go to it. And we talk about hockey assists and short rolls, and we weren't short rolling, and we weren't making that extra pass, and the ball kept on sticking. So, we hit home, with our guys the last couple of days that we need to be way more balanced, and that ball is going to move. And we continue to work the offense. I said, even going into the game, I told them, I can live with a shot clock violation if you guys just run so much offense and you just keep on passing it. I'll take that turnover, but that's, we really shared the ball, and we were way more team-oriented on the defense or the offensive end tonight. And so there's some changes offensively and some things we cleaned up, but probably a credit to our defense in terms of how we won this game.
Your changes defensively, was this something you had tried at some other point during the season, or was this completely new? Or
for the most part, it's really tweaking a few things schematically. It's not a whole lot different than what we've played in the past, but we just putting a lot more help side into the equation.
Coach, there have been a lot of close games that you guys have fallen on the wrong side of this year. Obviously, the free throws late. Did that kind of creep into your mind that here we go again in any sense?
Yeah, it did. Hopefully I didn't wear it on my face, but it certainly, when what do we leave, 14 on the table and probably some more in terms of one-on-ones. I don't know how many one-on-ones we missed front ends, but as a coach, and you see those not falling late, and then you see Asmus come down and hit the shots he's making. It was on my mind. You try to just figure out how to put a clean slate, but and clear your mind in those situations. But we wear some of those losses, and they keep on carrying with us. And the season, a couple of these games, 2 or 3 of these games go our direction, and we put them in the right win-loss column. We probably have a lot more confidence right now. But regardless, I keep on telling these guys, I feel like we're kind of like that shooter in a slump. So we got to see one go down. We got to see one down, and we can go down for us, and we can build on it and get that confidence rolling. So hopefully that's the game that they realize that we're just as good as anybody. We play each and every night if we play that way and we play that well together.
Coach, if you look at really until like the last maybe 3 or 4 minutes of the game when Asmus starts getting hot, and you guys are one on the line a lot. Really up until that point, it was kind of one of those, ugly, muddy it up kind of games, and I'm wondering, is that the style that you kind of want? Because I know you had some ideas with offensively coming into the season, and
it's kind of the style that the league plays.
Yeah.
The first 14 games after the Saturday, the first, Saturday to Wednesday, all the 14 games have been played in the league, and like I told him, I said that the average margin of victory is 6, and the winners are on average scoring 71, and the losers on average are scoring 65. I was like, guys, we're giving up 85 points a game after 2 games. So we can pinpoint some things on the offensive end and tweak some things and be more efficient there. But at the end of the day, in this league, you got to hang your hat on defense. And it's really, really hard to give up 2 and try to get 3 quick on the other end to have that mentality and win games. You're not just going to outscore people. So the chemistry and the changes we made on the defensive end, that's probably the reason we won, but also the buy-in offensively to get better looks and not be so quick with our shot selection.
Josh, you added somebody to the roster. How'd that transpire? Did he come to you? You went to him, and what couldn't Aiden eventually provide you?
Well, I met Aiden probably over a year ago. I was out on the recruiting trail and out in Kentucky, and I met him, and I saw him play for the first time, when I was scouting someone else. And they introduced me to him because he was, committed to West Virginia to play football. And he's a good basketball player, and he was a tough-minded, strong guard, and he competed. And, he was such a nice young man, and I carried on that relationship with him. And I told him when I get to Morgantown, come by the office, and if you need anything, let me know. Happy to help in any way. And he took me up on that. He showed up in the fall and stopped by and introduced himself to the staff. And I told him, I said, if you want to get a run in, I know he loves the game of basketball, come by and jump in open gym with our guys. And so he played a couple opportunities he took to play with our guys, and so our guys knew him. And he'll text me from time to time, throughout the season, and stayed in touch. And when football was over, he hit me up and said, would you mind can I take you up on that offer of coming in and joining the team? And I said, sure, love to have you. And he's just a high-character kid and a guy that wants to compete every day. And we're really happy to have Aiden, in whatever capacity that may be.
So Coach Brown to sort of work it out, say, is this okay?
We had a couple conversations even in the fall about it before he jumped into open gym, and he was good with it, and I certainly want to make sure that was good with Coach Brown, and football is his priority, and it'll continue to be his priority. But if he can help us and he wants to be involved, I'd love to have him each and every day. And so, with Aiden, we're 1-0, so it's going in a good direction.
Josh, in a tight game like this, there's hundreds of plays almost that seem to be key to keep changing it as it goes on. Sometimes some of them are overlooked. Cook's blocked shot and the 3-pointer he made. I mean, I thought they made a big difference in the game.
Yeah, huge difference. Huge difference. And I gave all those guys a hug, and I was so happy for all of them, and the celebration was fun. And when I gave Cook a hug, he was smiling ear to ear, and he said, defense is fun, isn't it? So he can make a lot of money in his career, wherever that may be, if just with that niche. He can really affect shots, and he's playing out of position too right now, and he's not happy with it. But he's I wouldn't say he's not happy with it. He'd rather be playing his position, but he's doing everything he can to help us win. And he's not a 5-man by any means. But we only had Jesse to start the year, and we didn't have depth there. So losing Jesse and then having a Cook and Pat do everything they can for us to shore that up and guard those 5s in our league, it's a challenge for both of them. Pat's a lot bigger and stronger, but Cook's got that quick twitch and can change shots down there. But I love guys like that as a coach. You want guys that have that approach. Defense is fun. It's going to help us going down. As we head into league play and get deep into league play.
Kind of like the Ohio State game where Raekwon got in that early foul trouble in that game, and yet you guys are playing and then you had the lead. Same thing tonight. He gets the early foul trouble, and then you guys still have the lead at halftime. What's the transition? I mean, obviously you don't want to tell the kid not to be aggressive. And then, are you surprised by the way you guys continue to play when he's on the bench?
No, I'm not surprised by it. It's kind of the reason why I changed the lineup today. Not only is between Kobe and Noah, they're some of our best defenders, but from a rotational standpoint, I mean, Noah didn't do anything wrong by any means, but he took on the role and said, yeah, I'm fine with coming off the bench. And not only does he come in as an extra ball handler if you need to get Kerr out, he also is a dynamic scorer if you need to get Ray out. So starting all three of those guys, we kind of saw that if we had to start our rotations early and get those guys out, they all need a blow at the same time, it becomes an issue. So he's 100% bought into the team and took that role and said, yeah, absolutely, coach. And you don't want to, upset anybody that's done nothing wrong. But when you approach it like that, and you got a kid that's all in about the team, and he said, "Let's do it," it makes everything a lot more, it's a lot more helpful for a coach.
One more on Aiden for me. They let you in the gym because their coach is a pit guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, he's a great guy, and he's actually, really connected to Aiden, even personally. But Dermar Johnson and his coach actually played together, so they had that connection as well. So, and we were just out there recruiting, last week, so got a chance to chop it up with them again. But he's just a program guy, a guy that's going to give everything he's got every single day, and who doesn't want another strong, defensive-minded guy on the floor each and every day to turn up the pressure and practice. And if that's all he does, that's helpful to us.
Did he play in a game? I mean, you haven't seen him enough maybe to determine. But
We haven't. If it works out and everybody's okay with it, I have no problem with putting him in if the situation calls for him. I mean, he's so far behind in terms of what we've done this far. So it will be, I could see him being a very vital member of our scout team in the short term. But trying to learn everything that we have in place right now might be a challenge, and especially this late. But he is a very bright kid, so we'll see how that transpires.
Josh, Quinn, I think he played like the last 8 minutes, and a lot of good things happened when he was in there too. Is that first step back toward where you want him to be, where he wants to be?
Yeah, I mean, I need Quinn, and we need him to get that swagger back. But having him on the floor, especially, he's a really good decision maker. Even when shots aren't falling, he can make good decisions with the ball, and probably our best passer at the forward position. So you can run a lot of things through him. So I feel it's really nice from our standpoint to have Quinn taking that ball out when you put the guards in the press break and they can get open. So that's very helpful, and it was huge down the stretch. And I think did he miss any free throws? I think he missed a couple, but typically you're going to trust Quinn to knock all those down at the free throw line there late. So.
Then it was brief. You played the Cook and Pat together too. Situational? Is that something you wanted to try out? I probably can't do it too much.
We look at that, but the problem is if they both need out at the same time. Cook's certainly more of a 4 than Pat is. Pat's become. He can shore us up defensively from the 5, probably easier than a Cook can. So I have no problem playing them together. It's just got to be right situation, rotational with your rotations.
Thank you.